Wow. Cheating with the ex? The ex fiance? Is that what it is? She cheated with the ex fiance? Oh, ridiculous, man. You did the right thing. You didn't question her. You went straight to it. I'm going to a divorce lawyer. We're done. We are freaking done.
Subject: My ex-wife thought I didn't know she was out with her ex-fiance until she got served. Hey man, first off, I just want to say thank you for creating a space where guys like me can finally speak without judgment. I've been a silent listener for almost 2 years now, and I can't tell you how many times your channel helped me feel like I wasn't losing my damn mind. Hearing how other men have gone through some of the most disrespectful, confusing, and painful relationship situations has honestly given me strength. Now it's my turn to share. My name is Chance. I'm 36 years old. I'm divorced now, and that's a good thing. But I want to tell you how I got there and why I served my ex-wife Nina divorce papers without warning. Let me take you back. The backstory, when I should have known. I met Nina through mutual friends at a Christmas party. She was stunning, I won't lie, confident, knew how to hold a conversation. She was the type of woman who could walk into a room and have every man turning his head. And she knew it too. During our first real conversation, she told me she had just gotten out of an engagement. Said she called it off because her ex-fiance had cheated on her with someone at his gym. I remember thinking, wow, she dodged a bullet. She told me she found messages between him and the woman, and after confronting him, she packed up and moved back in with her parents. Now, most people would take that as a red flag. Freshly out of an engagement, still emotionally raw. Yeah, I should have seen it, but at the time, I believed her. She seemed honest, said she was tired of men who lied, said she just wanted something real. Funny how those exact words ended up haunting me. Our relationship. We dated for about a year and a half before I proposed. Things were good, or so I thought. We moved in together after 6 months. She had a good job working in HR for a tech company, and I was making a decent living as an operations manager. We traveled, went on double dates, made memories. I thought I'd found the one, but looking back, there were cracks in the wall. She still followed her ex on Instagram, though she swore they never spoke. Once I asked her about why she still kept photos of them in her Google Drive. She brushed it off, said, I haven't looked through that folder in years. But she didn't delete them either. I remember one night we went out and bumped into a guy who gave me a strange look. Nina looked awkward too. When I asked who he was, she said it was just someone from work. Later, I'd find out he was actually a mutual friend of her ex-fiancé. I buried a lot of my suspicions. I didn't want to be that guy, the paranoid boyfriend, the jealous husband. But now, I wish I'd listened to my gut more. The encounter that changed everything. Here's the part that still boils my blood when I think about it. I was picking up lunch near my office one afternoon, and guess who walks in right behind me? Her ex-fiancé. I didn't even recognize him at first, but he walked right up to me with his hand out like we were old friends, and he said, You must be Chance. I've heard about you. I didn't shake his hand. I just stared at him. He laughed it off like I was being uptight and started small talking about Nina. Said he hoped we were doing well and that he and Nina were in a better place now. That set off alarms. I never told Nina about running into him, but after that, I paid closer attention. She started going out for drinks more often with coworkers. One night she came home late and said her phone died, but when I checked our shared iPad the next morning, we had iCloud linked, I saw an Uber receipt to a fancy restaurant. I got curious. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was just dinner with friends, but something told me to dig deeper, and that's when I hired a private investigator. The pictures. 2 weeks later, I got the email. Photos of her and the same ex-fiancé, the one who cheated on her during their engagement, having dinner together. Another set of photos showed them kissing outside of his apartment building. The date on the photos? 2 days before our anniversary. I didn't confront her, not right away. I wanted to do this the right way. I called out of work the next morning, made an appointment with my lawyer, and told him everything. He told me exactly how to handle it, told me what documents I'd need, how to prepare financially, and most importantly, how to stay calm. He said the moment she was served would be explosive. He wasn't wrong. The day she was served, I'll never forget it. It was a Wednesday. The server dropped the papers off while I was upstairs. I heard the doorbell, heard her answer it, and then the dead silence. Next thing I knew, she was running downstairs, barefoot, holding the papers like they were on fire. She screamed, "Chance, what the hell is this? Is this a joke?" I didn't say much. I just handed her the envelope with the photos in it. I'd printed them out and put them in chronological order. She flipped through them and turned ghost white. Then came the lies. "This wasn't what it looks like. We were just talking. It was innocent." I didn't say a word. That's when she flipped the script. "You invaded my privacy. You hired someone to follow me. That's toxic." I said, "No. What's toxic is being married and sneaking around with the same man you said destroyed your last engagement." She had no comeback for that. She just sat on the couch and started crying. She moved out 2 days later. And guess what? She didn't go back to her parents. She moved in with him. The divorce hearings. I thought that would be the end of it. But nah, she wasn't done disrespecting me. At the first court hearing, her lawyer tried coming after me for alimony. Said I made $30K more per year than she did, and that she deserved to maintain her lifestyle. Lifestyle? You mean the one where you sneak around with your ex behind my back? Oh, and get this. Her lawyer? Her cousin. A dude named Marcus who failed the bar twice before finally passing. He strutted into that courtroom like he was Johnny Cochran. My lawyer told me before we even started that this guy had a reputation for being messy and unprofessional. We were prepared. I showed proof that we split expenses 50-50, showed bank records, and even included receipts of the trips I paid for out of pocket. The judge saw right through it. Her alimony request got denied. The divorce was granted in my favor, and I walked out feeling like I had just escaped a burning building. But just when I thought the smoke had cleared, she came crawling back. About 4 months after the divorce was finalized, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. It said, "Hey, I don't know if you'll even read this, but I really need to talk." I ignored it, but 2 days later, she showed up at my house. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. She stood there in the same driveway where she once parked her car as my wife, now asking if we could just talk for a minute. Out of pure curiosity, I listened. She said he cheated again, this time with someone from his gym. How poetic. She said she made a mistake, that she missed me, that she never stopped loving me, and that it wasn't what it looked like. I just looked at her and said, "You gave up a marriage for a man who already showed you who he was twice." She cried. She begged. She even tried to hug me. I didn't budge. I told her she made her choice. I wished her the best and walked back inside. Haven't heard from her since, though I'm sure that won't last long. Final thoughts for now. I've got more to say, a lot more. She's been messaging mutual friends, and apparently she's been trying to ask around about whether I'm dating anyone. I'll update you in a couple days with what she did next. Because yes, she did try one last dramatic stunt. But for now, I just wanted to get this story out. To every guy out there who thinks he's crazy for trusting his gut, you're not. Pay attention to the red flags. If you feel like something's off, it probably is. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where someone tries to gaslight you for catching them in the act, remember, you are not the problem. Thanks again for everything you do. I'm not ready for this to go live just yet, so please hold off on reading this one on the channel until I send the final part. Trust me, the ending gets even crazier. Respectfully, Chance. Hey again, it's Chance, writing in with the follow up like I promised. I know you probably get 1,000 of these a week, but thanks again for holding off on sharing my story publicly. I just needed to finish telling you everything before it went out there. In my last message, I told you how I divorced my wife, Nina, after catching her out on a date with her ex fiance, the same man who cheated on her during their engagement. She had no idea I knew, and when she got served, she thought it was a joke. She cried, lied, and finally admitted to sneaking around when I showed her the pictures. Fast forward. We're divorced, she moved in with her ex, and she tried crawling back when he cheated again. Now here's what happened next. The fallout, you chose him, remember? About a week after she showed up crying in my driveway, I started getting messages from mutual friends. She's been asking about you. She's been liking your old posts. She told me she's thinking of going to therapy and that you were the only person who ever really supported her. Look, I'm not heartless. I don't want her to suffer, but I'm also not her rescue boat. She made her decision to lie, sneak around, betray my trust, and move in with the guy she swore she was done with. That's not a slip up. That's a pattern. She tried calling a few times from different numbers and eventually left a voicemail I'll never forget. Chance, I don't know what else to say. I was stupid. I didn't think you'd ever find out, but you did, and I get it now. I ruined the best thing I ever had. Please. I'm not asking for you to take me back. I just need a friend. I didn't respond. I didn't block her either. I wanted a clear record of everything, just in case. That turned out to be the right call. When I started seeing someone new. Now here's where it gets crazy again. About 4 months after the divorce, I started talking to someone new. Let's call her Sierra. She worked in graphic design and we met through a small networking event my job hosted. Nothing serious at first, just two people getting to know each other. But I made one mistake. I followed her on Instagram. Nina noticed. I didn't think she still followed me, but she had created a burner account. I only realized it when Sierra showed me a weird message she got from a random profile. The message said, "You're being used. Just wait. He's not over someone else." Sierra showed it to me and laughed it off at first, but when she looked up the account, the only people it followed were me and my ex-wife, Nina. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I ran a reverse lookup on the email tied to the account. Guess what popped up? Nina's old Pinterest board. So not only was she watching me, she was now trying to sabotage the next woman in my life. The public stunt. You'd think the DMs would be enough. Nope. Nina decided to go even lower. One Saturday afternoon, Sierra and I were out at a local market. Nothing fancy, just grabbing lunch and walking around. Out of nowhere, I hear someone calling my name. I turn around, and it's Nina. She was holding a small bag from one of the vendors, wearing this forced smile, like we were just bumping into each other at a high school reunion. "Oh, hey, Chance! Fancy seeing you here." She looked at Sierra, then looked at me. "You're not going to introduce me?" I didn't say anything. I put my arm around Sierra and said, "We were just leaving." She actually followed us to the parking lot. When we got to the car, she goes, "Really? You're dating her now?" Sierra didn't say a word. She just looked at me like, "You better handle this." I turned to Nina and said, "This is why we're not friends. You can't let go." Her face twisted into something between a sneer and a cry. She said, "You moved on too fast. We didn't even try to fix it." I just stared at her. "You moved in with another man, Nina. What exactly were we supposed to fix?" She left in tears. And I wish I could say that was the end. But it got worse. She showed up to my job. I work in a corporate office. Clean, professional. Not the place you'd expect drama, but leave it to Nina to create it. About a week after the market incident, she came to my office. She told the front desk she was dropping off documents. One of the interns brought them to me, a manila envelope with no return address. Inside, a handwritten note saying, I'll never forgive myself. A picture of us from our honeymoon. A USB stick. Now, I'm not dumb. I didn't plug that USB into my work computer. I used an isolated device I keep at home just in case something like this ever happened. The USB contained one thing: a video diary. She sat in front of her laptop crying, talking to the camera like I was watching live. I'm not asking you to come back. I just want you to remember who we were. I miss you so much. I miss our routines. I can't eat at that Thai place anymore. I can't listen to that podcast we used to share. I can't even look at myself. She started blaming the ex-fiance again. He knew what he was doing. He said he had changed. I wanted closure. I wanted to know why he did what he did to me, and I got manipulated all over again. I watched the whole thing once, then deleted it. Not because I'm heartless, but because I'm free. And I wasn't about to give her a second chance at breaking me. What I've learned. Now that some time has passed, I can finally say it without bitterness. I'm better off. The things I used to ignore, like the way she never took accountability, the way she told sob stories about every man in her past, the way she always had to be the victim, all of that was a pattern. She didn't want healing. She wanted attention. When she didn't get it from me anymore, she sought it from someone else. And when he cheated again, she tried to get it from me again. But I'm no longer that man who doubts himself, questions his instincts, or stays quiet to avoid conflict. Nina taught me a harsh lesson about emotional manipulation, about what betrayal looks like when it wears a pretty face and uses the word love like a weapon. I don't hate her. I actually hope she gets help, but she's no longer my responsibility. Not her tears, not her heartbreak, not her choices. Final thoughts for real this time. Sierra and I, we went our separate ways after a few months, not because of Nina, but because I realized I still needed time to heal. She understood, and we parted on good terms. These days, I'm just focused on me. Traveling more, working out again, reconnecting with friends, living life without walking on eggshells or wondering who's lying to my face. To the men out there who think they need to wait and see after betrayal, don't. If someone disrespects your commitment once, they will do it again. Trust is fragile. Once it breaks, it never looks the same. And if you're still debating whether to stay in a relationship where your gut says something's wrong, brother, it probably is. That's all for now. Feel free to share my story whenever you're ready. I'm good now. Thank you for the platform, the stories, and the strength. Chance. Hey again, it's Chance, back with the final piece of this saga. At least, I hope it's the final one. I truly thought Nina's surprise visit to my job, that USB with the tearful video diary, and the late night phone calls would be the end of it. But when someone's entire identity is based on manipulation and attention seeking, they don't just let go quietly. This time, she pulled the lowest stunt imaginable. Let me take it from the top, and like always, thank you for giving men like me a voice. Sharing this here has helped me stay grounded when I could have easily lost my mind. Chapter 1. The silence. Before the stunt. After I deleted that USB and ignored all Nina's messages, things got eerily quiet. No calls, no surprise visits, no fake Instagram accounts, messaging, women I followed. I thought she had finally moved on. And honestly, I was happy for her, or at least relieved she wasn't trying to drag me into her chaos anymore. I kept living. I took a solo trip to San Diego, visited an old college friend, and even started a new project at work that I'd been wanting to pitch for years. I felt like myself again. It was during that good stretch, when I was finally getting used to waking up without a knot in my chest, that the storm hit. Chapter 2. We need to talk. It started with a text from a number I didn't recognize. I know you probably don't care, but you need to know. We need to talk. Please. I ignored it. If it was Nina, I wasn't biting. Then came another message, about 2 hours later. I'm pregnant, Chance. I'm scared. Please. I froze. I read it again. Then I scrolled up. No name, no intro, just those 5 words. At first, I honestly laughed. Not because the idea of pregnancy is funny, but because I knew what she was doing. I didn't respond. I went about my day. 2 days later, she emailed me from a different account. This time, she added more detail. I didn't think this would happen, and I'm not trying to trap you. I just needed you to hear it from me. I'm almost 7 weeks. It's yours. Please don't ignore me. I called my lawyer. I told him what was going on, and his response? Don't engage. If she's serious, she'll have to prove it. This smells like a setup. I agreed, because here's what she didn't know. I had been tested recently, and my doctor told me something important. My sperm count was significantly low due to a medical issue I was treating. Getting someone pregnant was nearly impossible at that stage of my life. Unless God himself willed it, she was lying. Chapter 3. The Confrontation. I didn't say anything publicly, but one of Nina's mutual friends, a woman I'll call Kiara, messaged me out of the blue. Hey, I think you need to know Nina's been telling people you're the father of her baby. I didn't believe it, but I thought I'd check in. I asked Kiara straight up, did she show you proof? Kiara sent back a laughing emoji and said, no, she just keeps posting black and white ultrasound pics on her story with no name or date, and she deleted them after 24 hours. You know the game. I had enough. I messaged Nina from a burner account I had kept. Yes, I know, but after everything she pulled, I wasn't taking chances. I wrote, congratulations on the pregnancy. Happy to take a paternity test when the time comes. Her response was immediate. Why would you even say that? You don't trust me? This is exactly why I was scared to tell you. I replied, we're divorced. You've lied to me, spied on me, and followed me. If you're really pregnant, the truth will come out. She went silent. Chapter 4. The Breakdown. A week later, I got a call from an unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. It was her voice again. She was sobbing. I'm not pregnant. I lied. I just didn't know what else to do. I thought if I could get you to talk to me again, maybe we'd find our way back. I know it's over. I just can't take how empty everything feels. That voicemail is still saved in my phone. Not out of pity, but as a reminder. A reminder of how desperate, manipulative, and unwell someone can become when they can't control you anymore. Chapter 5. Her world unraveling. From what I've heard since, Nina's world isn't in the best shape. She and her ex-fiance broke up again, for real this time. He found out about the pregnancy lie because she used the same tactic on him. Only difference? He blew up and told her entire family. Her own cousin, who remember was also her lawyer in our divorce, posted a cryptic message on Facebook a few days later. Don't ever let family ties blind you to someone's true character. I won't represent snakes again. Petty? Maybe. Accurate? Definitely. I haven't seen her since, but I've heard from 3 people that she's had to move back in with her mother. She deleted most of her socials and now works part-time at a local boutique. It's sad. I don't take joy in seeing her life collapse. But let me be clear. I don't regret leaving. You can't build a home with someone who's still hanging pictures of their ex on the walls. You can't grow with someone who thinks lying is just protecting your feelings. Chapter 6. Life Now. I finally reached a place of peace. I've started dating again, slowly, mindfully, with my guard not up, but smartened. I'm not scared of love, but I'm way more selective about where I give my heart. I've been journaling, reading more, meditating even. That version of me who let things slide, ignored red flags, and believed words over actions, he's gone. I told myself something the other day while shaving, and I want to share it here. A man's peace is more valuable than a woman's apology after betrayal. Let me repeat that. A man's peace is more valuable than a woman's apology after betrayal. Nina apologized 50 different ways. Tears, voicemails, lies, videos, fake pregnancies. None of it gave me peace. Peace came when I accepted the truth and walked away with my dignity. Final thoughts. To any man out there reading or listening to this through your channel, I don't care how fine she is, how long you've been together, how many tears she cries. If she betrays your trust and you catch her lips on another man's in a restaurant booth while claiming she's running errands, she does not respect you. And if she doesn't respect you, you'll never have peace. It's been about a year now since I handed my ex-wife divorce papers. She didn't see it coming. She thought I was weak. She thought I'd forgive her for closure. She thought she could lie her way back in. Now she's alone, and I'm not. Even if I'm single, I'm not alone. I have peace, purpose, and a life where I no longer have to play detective in my own marriage. Thank you again for giving me space to share my story. If she tries anything else, I'll be sure to let you know. But for now, I'm finally closing this chapter for good. Stay sharp, stay focused, stay free. Chance.